I've seen a lot of smart home displays, but I have not yet seen a comparison between a Dakboard and an Echo Show 15. Now, someone might say the Dakboard isn't a true smart display. Well, let's dive into it, and we might get a little perspective of why I did this review to begin with. Stay around till the end of the video and I'll tell you which device is right for you and which one I would choose over the other. The Echo Show 15 is a full HD resolution display, which means it's 1080p and you can also watch Fire TV on it. Whereas the Dakboard CPU can be any setting or configuration you want it to. It depends on what monitor you connect to it. But this monitor right here is a 2K monitor or a QHD display. You can also connect it to a 4K display. But the resolution by itself does not distinguish these two devices from each other. So let's talk about some of the similarities. You can see both of the devices can display smart home information, they can display weather, they can also display calendars. The Dakboard primarily serves as a customizable display, and it does not have a smart assistant like Alexa built into it. Now, that is a drawback because you cannot directly communicate with the Dakboard CPU, but you can communicate with it utilizing a smart assistant. But the comparison doesn't end there. The Dakboard is a customization king, and when I say customization king, I really mean that you can go ahead and customize anything that you see on the display. Whereas the Echo Show 15 on the other hand has some features built into it where you can go ahead and set the templates and configuration, but the font, the text size, or the backgrounds to a certain extent cannot be modified. That sort of limits what you can do with it. Now, if we look at the hardware by itself, the Echo Show 15 takes a lead on that. It does have a lot of smart features where it also has a built-in camera and then also the buttons on the side and top. So it is an integrated hardware and software complete package. Whereas the Dakboard on the other hand provides you the hardware and the software to a certain extent. But keep in mind, you don't need the hardware to operate Dakboard. Think of it like operating a website or accessing a website. You can run the Dakboard through any computer that you need. So you can go ahead and log into the Dakboard and utilize its interface to display on your smart TV or your computer. But the Dakboard operating system sort of makes that integration seamless where you have a better experience browsing through it. Now the Echo Show 15 on the other hand has this ability where you can orient it just by moving it. If I wanted to go ahead and rotate this display, you can see that it self-orients itself to a landscape mode. If I had to do the same thing on the Dakboard, I would have had to go into the configuration to sort of show you what it's capable of. Now, the Echo Show 15 is instantaneous. If I were to ask Alexa right now, Alexa, add to my calendar to pick up milk from the store today.
Sure, Asher.
It does that instantly, right? If I were to ask through a Google Assistant or an Alexa Assistant to do the same thing with the Dakboard, I would see a little bit delay on there. Now keep in mind that the Dakboard does have the ability to be connected to the Ethernet, which makes connectivity a little bit faster. So when would you want one display over the other? This lacks a bunch of features that this one doesn't have, but at the same time, the Echo Show 15 is not a fully customizable smart display where it doesn't offer you a lot of features. The one thing is, if you're not going to be interacting with your smart display a lot and using it just as a smart display with multiple calendar options, I would pick the Dakboard. But on the other hand, if you want to fully integrate the Echo Show 15 like smart display into your home where you're able to interact with it, ask it to pull up videos, then the Echo Show 15 is the right fit. But look at these smart displays side by side. Here you can see that I have the calendar set up on this. Here on the Dakboard CPU, you can see that I have two calendars, one for me, one for my wife. But then at the same time, with the weather widget and the indoor temperature, There are so many different options. I can have precipitation, I can have the air quality index. Anything that I want to display can be on this. So when would you choose one over the other? If you're looking for a high resolution display, or if you're looking for smart assistant features, that is where the comparison comes in. Now, looking at the exterior, the Echo Show 15 does take the lead on that, where it looks like a picture frame. But at the same time, keep in mind that the possibilities are endless with the Dakboard CPU. You can choose any kind of display. Now, this display right here is not a touchscreen, but you have the option to have a touchscreen integrated with the Dakboard CPU also. Sometimes when I'm looking at Echo displays, the one thing that really bugs me is all the ads. Sometimes it goes through the displays and you see different ads targeted to you. The Dakboard takes a win over that when it shows you what it shows you 24/7. It will not budge. It will stay the same way and you won't be bombarded with ads. That is the one beautiful thing about it. I mean, look at it. You pay for a subscription where you don't have to look at ads. Now, as far as ease of setup, the Echo Show 15 doesn't have an app where you can go through the app and look at the steps for setup, and it'll guide you through it exactly how to set it up. And that's really convenient for the end user. You don't have to be tech savvy and you don't have to be detailed in what you're doing, and it'll help you set up. The Dakboard, on the other hand, you have to be a little bit more tech savvy in order to figure it out. They don't have an app right now where you can follow the steps, but sometimes the initial setup takes a little bit longer. But in my opinion, if you can operate it and go through the steps, the Dakboard is also worth setting up. Hey guys, that's about it for this comparison. I really wanted to compare these two displays. Now, the Dakboard connects via a display, whereas the Echo Show 15 is an all-in-one package, but there were a lot of similarities and there are still a lot of differences. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at the screen, if you're able to get all the information that you need, and at the same time, if you're able to interact with it, if you want it to, then you can pick which one is right for you. Guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it and subscribe for more. Thanks.